Boom. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Results Driven by RW. So excited you're on the call tonight. Got some great stuff to share with you. I'm going to probably talk a little fast. So if you can, get some notes. Get a notepad and some notes because I'm going to drop some bombs on tonight. I was sharing with one of my wonderful, amazing students that on tonight, I'm going to probably make some people mad. But hopefully that anger will turn into execution. Because sometimes when you talk about stuff, it can really fire somebody up. It can get them like, how dare he? And so it's like, I want to how dare you tonight, because if you don't get stretched in what we're doing here, then you can't grow. And unfortunately, your real growth is going to come from you getting to a point to where you have to question everything. You have to get to a point to where now you start questioning who I am, why am I how I am, and is who I am really who God intended me to be, or if I'm just become a product of my environment or the people that have been around me. Most people think that I'm my own person. No, you act just like your mama, act just like your daddy. So in other words, there's so many qualities that we can take from other people. So tonight, I want to deal with a topic that I believe is going to help us, stretch us, and hopefully make us better. I want to conversate about it. So please, before you get too upset and tell me your mom and click off of the Zoom or the YouTube or the other pages that we're on, I want you to listen, hear me out tonight. Hear me out to where now you can actually understand that I'm coming from a position of love, but loving you enough to push you to your purpose, push you to your destiny. To me, if you have a coach that hasn't made you mad yet, then you need to get a new coach, okay? Or get someone that's going to actually incite you to almost want to slap him upside his head because you can't believe they said something like that. Because we have to love you, I believe, enough to tell you the truth in love, but also making sure that you're growing there. Okay. So on tonight, real quick, guys, open my chat up. Okay. I see you guys are already talking. Awesome. I love it when you talk to each other. I love it when you work together. That's the whole purpose of the network. So tonight, a little housekeeping, of course, as we get started. I want you guys to take notes. Like I said, I'm going to drop some bombs on tonight. I want you to pick those things up, use them, and you're not going to get a massive stuff, I don't think. But if you just get a few those little nuggets can change your life. Okay. If possible, camera on. If not, totally understand. I'm good with it. I understand you guys are moving, bobbing and weaving, but I do love see your smiling faces, because I do know that that does let me know that you're getting it. And sometimes when I look at you and your face looks scrunched up, then I know that I'm really hitting a nerve, or either I'm forcing you to think another way, which is, to me, is good, because that's really what you want. You want to now look at, and here's the thing you want to think about: if where I am hasn't gotten me to where I want to be, then that means that I got to look at everything to become what I really need to be. I have a saying, I'm chasing the next best version of myself every single day. So every single day, I'm trying to get better. All right. So take notes. I promise I'm going to drop some bombs. Camera on if possible. No worries if not. Ask questions. I want you to put questions in the chat. I'm actually going to ask you some stuff that you can put in the chat that we can discuss if I miss and go past it. Okay. Also, if you would do me a favor, only unmute when called upon. I'm probably gonna have a point to where in our discussion, I'm gonna have everybody unmute, and then we're gonna have an orderly conversation around the information and make sure that we're all on the same page. I don't ever want you to leave here wondering or guessing or in a quandary of how do you do that? Because it's one thing to give you a bunch of information, but to me, it's another thing to give you how to do it or the why you want to do it. Okay. All right, let's jump in tonight. First thing, of course, this week's wins. All right, guys. Now I'm going to ask you to open your chat up, and I want to hear 2 to 3 good wins on this week. I had a phenomenal week, but anyway, that's just me. But for you, how did your week go? And when I say this week's wins is important, because many of you are overachievers like me, and so you overlook the things you do good, and you magnify the things you do wrong. But I guarantee you did something good this week. So we want to celebrate you, because I think that's what a good network does, is celebrate you. Because if you're around people that don't celebrate your success, run away from people. I heard, I think one of my people, Robbie, mentioned today in one of her wonderful shorts that she did on, I believe it was on the social media, about how you got to be careful with people drawing you into their bad energy. Don't let people draw you into their bad day. Just because they're having a bad day, don't make their bad day be your bad day. Okay. So with that being said, this week's wins. Who's got a win? Come on, open up my chat. What you got? What you got? What you got?
I'll go.
Go.
All right. So I've been wanting to expand, right? So I make prayer shawls and praise dance garments and suits and stuff like that. And so this week I've been praying just to be able to do all kinds of other things. So this week I got a majorette client to sew for a majorette team. Totally different than praise and worship teams, majorette team. So I was able to do that. And then I also got another client that is pursuing, they want the Indian safaris, like the two-piece Indian outfits. And I like wearing those because they're very comfortable. You can run around town, look professional or whatnot. And so I have two different clients that want two different scales of things, and I'm excited.
Beautiful. Sound like some forward momentum in stitching. I like it. Awesome. 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 Who else? Who else got a win this week? That's good stuff. Thank you, Dr. Tiffany. I appreciate you.
Hey, Marquise here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Marquise?
Hey, sorry about the picture. I'm actually driving home from the office.
That's
Now,
okay.
I actually had a couple good, I would say wins. I was able to land a partnership, which is actually really big of a missing piece that I needed for it to expand the business. So I actually had a meeting with a gentleman, and everything went well with that. We kind of hit it right off, and kind of got things, got the party started immediately. So that was a big win. And also actually landed another. We needed some more space to store more cars with this project that we're working on, and we were able to get that squared away. So having a pretty productive week and still going through the growing pains at the same time. But I guess a win is a win.
Hey, man, a win is a win is a win is a win. You got to take the wins, man. That sounds like a plan. I love it when you're expanding and making it work. And I really love that you're partnering. I'm telling you guys, if you can find someone to partner with, man, it makes it so much easier. You don't want to do this journey by yourself. There's no big business out there that hasn't partnered and come together to make some real money. So, man, good job. Great job. Thank you so much for sharing that, man. That's off the chain. What else we got? One more good win. Those are good. No, that's it. That's all you got. That's all you got. That's it. Are you guys kidding me? All right.
I got a something to make you say,
Okay.
It's probably not a win. Okay. So if you woke up this morning and every morning for the rest of your life, and you had $86,438, but you had to spend it all in one day, what would you do?
Man, that's a good one.
It gets deposited in your bank account every day at midnight. You have 24 hours to spend it. And if whatever you didn't spend, you don't have, what would you do?
That's a good question. And honestly, I got a whole bunch of answers, but we'll come back to that. You know what? I have to bring that up one day. That's good because it forces people to now think on this level. And actually, you're kind of preempting what I'm going tonight, because that's how some people are living as they're getting money every day and they're spending it every day, and they're not looking that the next day they can get the same amount. And so, I'm gonna ponder that. We're gonna come back to that. Good stuff. So let's dive in tonight. Good stuff, Doctor. I'm gonna come back to that. Event spotlight. Guys, if you're not gonna be there on Saturday, slap yourself. I know some of you are looking at all the stuff that's not happening and, I'm not in a position to do it. When do you start looking to do something? Before you need to do it. Don't wait until you get there to do it. Start looking into it before you get there. In other words, it's almost like, and I mentioned this, I think a couple of weeks ago, to where do you wait to get the umbrella when you know it's already raining? Or do you get the umbrella because you know it's about to rain? In other words, if you know within yourself that your business is about to blow up, your product, your service is going to start moving in the right direction, start planning now how to invest the funds that you're getting. Because, hey, Dr. Tiffany just said, if I got 86,000 a day, what you gonna do with it? What is your plan for what you're gonna get? Not what you don't have, but what you plan on having. In other words, what are you looking to move towards? On this Saturday, I'm going to be hammering you guys with some stuff that's going to really flip your wig back. I got some hot topics and some things I want to share with you. Also, want to show you how to do some things that you might not thought you were able to do, but I'm going to show you how to do it when it comes to real estate. And for some of you, you might just need a partner. You might need somebody to partner with, so I can start showing you how to partner to work together. I had a client that joined me. He came into one of our sessions, said he wanted to buy real estate. Within 60 days, we closed his first real estate property, which we still have together. We did it as a co-partnership. So sometimes it's not that you have to do it yourself. You just got to find the right people. All right. All right, guys. So set your calendar this Saturday, 9:30. Be there. I promise you won't be disappointed. All right. Tonight's topic, money mindset. Money mindset. Yep, I said it. Money. Money, 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 money. In other words, I'm going to talk about something that some of you, as I said in my preview, you're going to get a little upset because just the word money is a trigger for you right now because you're broke. Matter of fact, broke is a trigger for you too, because when somebody says you're broke, you feel inferior and you want to get mad because you're broke. But it ain't my fault that you're broke. You're broke because you want to be broke, because there's so many ways to make money that I don't know why you ain't making money. So if you broke, you because you want to be broke. I'm not broke because I don't want to be broke. I got you already. Got you already. How want money? Okay, we're going to see how bad you do want it. Let's deal with first, guys, the mindset. Mindset, guys, is an established set of attributes held by someone, a fixed state of mind, a mentality, a psyche, a behavior. In other words, your mindset is established. Some of you, it's been something that's been increasing in the aspect of learning how to work through the things that were taught to you. Because I gotta be honest, I know you love your mom, your dad, your uncle, your cousin, but there's certain people that can't teach you about certain things. Let me lay it on the line. If you got a mindset about money from somebody that was broke, guess what kind of mindset you really have? Well, no, I think different. We're going to challenge that tonight. We're going to challenge what your mindset really is and what's made you start thinking that way, and why on God's green earth are you still thinking that way? Okay? Because mindset truly is something that, I like what it says here, a fixed state of mind. We can get so locked in to what we believe is true. Like right now, just by show of hands, if you didn't know better, how many would believe the earth is flat? I'm going to talk about this on Saturday. You know, it's so many untruths that we know it's not true, but in our mind is like, well, no, it's flat. No, it's not flat. The earth is round. How many believe you're just standing still right now? No, you're not. While you're sitting there, the earth is still moving. So there's certain things that are true that you might not say they're true, but they are true. You know, you might, just because you don't feel it and don't sense it, it doesn't mean it's not happening. And that's something that we're going to talk about too when it comes to mindset. Okay. Now, who taught you about money? Put in the chat. Who taught you about money? Put in the chat. I want to see. So who taught you about money? Who told you about money? Money was good. Money was bad. Money was awesome. Money was amazing. Who gave you your money mindset? Come on. Let me see what you got. Light my chat up. My dad. He good peoples. He good peoples. He good peoples. Who else? Who else? You got parents. Good. College courses. Creditors. Yeah, they teach you. That's for sure. Parents. Good. 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 Who else? Our paycheck and spending habits. Well, that tells you too. That's the one where you find out. What else? Environment. Ooh, that's huge. Seeing block hustlers. Oh, not the hustlers. Hustle. Every day I'm hustling, hustling, hustling. So sometimes that mindset, huh? Then we've got songs that back up the mindset. Every day I'm hustling, hustling, hustling. Anyway, so what else? What else? Come on, give me a few more. Where else can you get it? Investors? Good, good, good. Who else? Who else? What else? I had a great conversation with a lady today, and she was dealing with people of our culture and how we were taught about money. In a lot of cases, we weren't taught about money. We were taught about not having money and taught lack, taught scarcity. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here in a moment. Okay. My kids grew up. First thing I was sharing with them was, what's $1 million? I'd make them say nothing. I put stuff in them that made them eventually get to a place where they realized that money wasn't evil. money wasn't hoard. Because some of you, some of that mindset, man, let's talk about it. Let's get a little further into it. When someone talks about money, how do you feel? Really? Does it make you feel uncomfortable? Do you think they're bragging? When I talk about money, do you think, man, I don't know why you talk about this money. I wish you would talk about something else. Come on, tell me the truth. Put it in chat. Put it in chat. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I want to break some money habits today. I want to break some money habits. When someone starts talking about money, how do you feel? Are you comfortable or uncomfortable? Put that in the chat for me. Comfortable, uncomfortable. Comfortable. Good. Comfortable. Okay. No, I can talk about money and not feel weird. Good. Until they come up with an amount to charge. Okay. I think they're about to ask me for some. Uncomfortable. Okay. Becoming more comfortable. Good. Comfortable and excited. Excellent. Comfortable. Okay. Good. Now, are these new money sets, or are these money mindsets that you're forming as you've been growing? Because now when you start thinking about it, I mean, number one, where'd you get it from? Your mindset. Number two, now that you think about it, how did you feel about money before? And even as I go a little further, I'm going to challenge that mindset that you say you have. Okay. So there's an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. Now, how many understand the difference? Abundance mindset says there's enough for everybody. Scarcity says there's only so much. So if one person is in a space, then that means that that space is filled and I can't get in that space. And so now I'm going to not do it because everybody else is doing it. Like right now, how many think that everybody's coaching? Everybody's coaching. And before you know it, you start telling yourself, well, because everybody's coaching, I can't fit in nowhere. I can't get in nowhere. I told you guys earlier, I was watching Grant Cardone and I was watching Tony Robbins. Both of them individually had over 1 million people within their groups the last 3 days. Think about that for a minute. Grant Cardone had 1 million. Tony Robbins had 1 million. How many believe that when you really think about it, it doesn't matter how many people are out there because you ain't even touched the surface. How many people are in the world? Anybody know the answer to that? Come on, where are my smart people at? How many people in the world? How many people in the world? How many in the world, Craig, in the world? Who knows that number? Give me an estimate. Nobody got nothing? Can I suffice to say there's multi-millions of people? And even if you got 1% of multi-millions, 7.8 billion, okay, 8 billion, okay. So billions of people are in the world. Are you telling me you can't get 0.00005% of those people on your side to get your product, to get your service? Am I talking to anybody tonight? Are you hearing me? Is this thing on? Because if you have an abundance mindset, then no matter what your thought is, you'll go after it because you know that there's enough for everybody. Do you know people that tell you, well, don't tell nobody? They'll find something out and they'll say, don't tell nobody. Those are people that have a scarcity mindset because they believe that there's not enough to go around. And then they got nerve to tell you, well, don't tell nobody this information because if you tell somebody, then everybody gonna do it. And who is everybody really when you think about it? If you think about their circle, is everybody 5 broke people? Come on, guys. It gets to the point to where now your mindset is important because if you believe in abundance, then I don't feel like I have any competition in any area that I work in. Matter of fact, I'll bring other people in that do the same thing I do and feel no kind of way about it. Only because I live in such abundance. It's almost like if you got 500 people, I can get 500 people. And my 500 won't affect your 500. How many agree with that? If that, put in there, I agree. Type in my chat, I agree. Because ultimately, you have to agree to a mindset one way or another. And if you're in a scarcity mindset, then it's going to be tough to convince you that even though you are let's throw out a name, you wrote a book. There's 50,000,000 books out there. But even in that, can your book still be a bestseller? If you agree that your book can be a bestseller, even with all the books out there, type I agree. Only because, guys, you have to think about it. You have to know it can happen, and then you go after it. Because some of your mindsets are holding you back from doing the things you should be doing right now. You aren't talking to the people you should be talking to. You aren't thinking about going after the people you think about talking. Some of you are thinking, I need to be around NFL players. What have you done to do that? Who have you gotten around to do that? I'm literally low-key coaching an ex-NFL player. And it's crazy because when you start looking at it, it's like, well, wait a minute, how did I open those doors? A couple of weeks from now, I'll be speaking with the mayor at an event. How did I get to be speaking with the mayor? Come on, guys. It gets to the point where there's so much around us that we just have to stay positioned that when things happen, you're ready to rock and roll, but it all starts with your mindset. All right? Mindset is huge. So do you have a scarcity or abundant mindset? Now, how many know that these are some thoughts that were thrown at you? If any of these agree with you, say, I remember. In other words, the mama or the parents saying, money don't grow on trees. Who heard that said before? Who heard a penny saved is a penny earned? When really you think about it, ain't nothing but a penny. Who says that? We can't afford that. How many lived in a household to where they couldn't afford nothing? Nothing couldn't be afforded. It's like, we need toilet paper. Well, we're going to get the 1-ply because we can't afford the 2-ply. And anybody feeling me on tonight? Is or just me out here in these streets? Anybody ever had the toothpaste and you'd actually get the toothpaste, and you still do this now, even though you got money, you'll get the toothpaste and you'll roll it up real tight to get all the toothpaste. Is anybody feeling me on that? You'll wait until you get to the gristles and you'll be like, okay, now it's empty. Some of you, your baking soda, it doubles for to catch the stuff in your refrigerator, to brush your teeth, when you run out of toothpaste. Some of you back in the day, now you won't agree to this, but some of you, I did anyway, dishwashing powder and dishwashing soap, that was actually dual purpose. That was used to wash dishes, to wash clothes sometimes, and to take a bath. Because if you had dishwashing detergent, you could use that to do all the things you need to do. And before, am I talking to anybody? Is anybody on this Zoom tonight? Okay, you think I'm a money machine? Anybody's parents ever told them, you think I'm made of money? And before you know it, you get all this stuff going. And now, even now that you got a little change, you still have the same mindset. Now I get to the point to where the toothpaste get like it's done, I'm not rolling it up. I'm throwing it away, doggone it. Well, that's just wasteful. No, you got to start breaking some stuff in your head on how you see things. Okay? I'm not talking about being wasteful, but I am talking about what mindsets are you carrying from stuff that people told you? How about this one? Rich people are greedy. Who's heard that? Type in the chat, I've heard any one of these. If you've heard any one of these sayings before, type in the chat. Rich people are greedy. Rich people are crooked. Rich people are mean. Rich people aren't going to heaven because, the money is the root of all evil. Where my Christians at? Money is the root of evil. You don't want money now. Don't, the Lord wants you to be blessed, but don't talk about money, okay? Oh, more money, more problems. You heard about that one too. They put a song out about it. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be nice. I don't need all that money. How many have heard that? I don't need all that money. I'm good. I don't need all that money. Long as I can pay my bills on time, I'm good. Long as I got gas in my tank and I can pay my bills, I'm good. How many know that's a mindset? And before you know it, guess what your whole mission is in life? It's just to pay your bills, put gas in your car, and that's all you need. Anybody agreeing with me? Anybody out here? I told you I was gonna make some of you mad tonight. But when you start looking at this, where did that come from? So now, how can you become rich or wealthy when you don't like rich people? Think about that for a minute. How can you become wealthy or rich if every time you see or hear about somebody being rich, you believe that those are horrible people? So you can't become what you despise. Mindset, guys. Mindset. All right, let's keep going. If you look at what you make now, compared to what you really need to make to take care of your family, your community, and lifestyle, is it enough? Type in the chat. are you making enough money for real though? I mean, for what you really need to do. Okay, I just want to know, man, that wasn't just a heck no, that was a hell no, huh? Okay, Robbie, I feel you. Nah, she's like, nah. Who? I mean, I need help. Yeah, we all need help. But look at that for a minute, because the biggest key is if you're not making enough that you need to make financially, and you know it's not enough to take care of your family, your community, and your lifestyle, where did you get content in where you're at being okay? And some of you will say, well, it's not okay. Well, my next question is, if you know it's not okay, what are you really doing to bring in that income you need to bring in? I mean, for real. I mean, not what you're talking about, but what you're actually doing to get there. Okay? Because I know my mentor from afar made me upset because he asked me a question. Well, it was Grant. Grant asked a question, and it made me mad because here I am, doing pretty decent, I thought at this point, but for a guy with, no real education other than a high school diploma and 8 months of high quality community college. So I'm thinking, hey, you make a couple $100,000 a year, you're doing pretty good. You're out there, man, you're doing pretty good. But the question came that was so powerful and it actually stung me, was like, is it really, he asked the question, is what you're making really what you saw you making? Or did you just settle for what you're making right now? Did you draw the limit in your life to say, what I have is enough because of the mindset that other people have given you? Okay? Just think about that for a minute. Process that. We're going to come back to it. I want to chop that up about that. So when you really think about this, my next question is, at what point did you give up on your real financial goals? No, really. Who talked you out of what you really want to make in monthly income? Who told you, why are you always talking about money? Well, why can't you just be happy? How many have gotten that? Why won't you just be happy with what you got? Why won't you just stay focused and knowing that, why don't you just be grateful? God has blessed you. Just be grateful for that. Just know that you don't need all that stuff. Those things are just wants. You don't need all that stuff. Who's talked you out of it, guys? Come on, who's done it? There's two things for my people that are Bible people. I want you to think about what people can do. Because of Saul, remember King Saul? Remember he was told by Samuel to get rid of all the stuff, but he decided to keep some stuff because the people said, no, don't get rid of everything. Keep some stuff. We're going to need it for later. Scarcity mentality in the people. He listened to the people, and because of the people, he lost his kingdom to David. So the people cost Saul his kingdom. You want to hear another example? Let's hear about Moses. Moses led the people for 40 years in the wilderness. Then he got mad at the people, called them a bunch of rebels, and he ended up losing the promised land because the people provoked him. No, think about that one more time. What people have talked you out of has it been your mama who's working and comfortable now and just saying, you know what, baby, you can just come stay with us and save your money and you don't got to work that hard. It's going to be okay. But at what point did you give up? And who talked you out of it? Process that for a minute. All right. So it could be maybe the people you're talking to about money. Okay. How many have heard the cash flow quadrants? How many have heard about that? Okay. By show of hands, me, type in my chat, me. So here's the cash flow quadrants. This is by Robert Kiyosaki, if you don't know. Great book. Matter of fact, I believe Rich Dad Poor Dad was a good book, but Cash Flow Quadrant was a great book. Okay. Now with this book, he talks about how there's 4 levels. There's employee, there's self-employed, there's business owners, and investors. When it comes to money, most people that are working for someone else are thinking on an employee level. Okay. Employee level is not bad. I do believe that people can get rich in any of these quadrants. Absolutely. Depending on how and who's pushing you. The next level is self-employed, to where you actually you run your business and you're the one that do all the work within it because it's self-employed. In other words, you're employed by yourself. Okay. Business owners. This is where you own your business. And in some cases, if not careful, your business can own you, but that's another story. And then the next level, or to me, the greatest level, which I'm striving to do, is become an investor. I'm an investor now. I don't want anything that I got to work for. I want everything to where I'm just putting money into it and it gives me money back in return. Okay. So if you start looking at it from these different quadrants, and depending on where you fall, it could be the mindset. And I've talked about this before, guys. You cannot talk to a W-2 employee about a 1099 situation. They won't understand it. And it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that there's different levels to this. You know, do me a favor, type in my chat. There's levels to this. There's levels to how you learn. There's levels to mindset. And some of you, what you're doing is you're actually talking to people that are either on the same level or beneath you. And so now it makes it to where you're not being pushed to start looking at that next level. In other words, get to that next point to where you have to realize that I can't stay here. And I hate to say it, but some of you can't stay around the people you've been around. You got to start breaking out that barrier and start looking to get around people that will make you uncomfortable when it comes to money, their level of living, and what they're trying to accomplish, you know? So with that being said, depending on where your mindset is kind of where you stay. And even though an employee wants to be self-employed, he'll always fall back sometimes to be an employee because it's easier that way. If they make the decisions, they do it, and I just go with the flow. Self-employed, that means that you have to go out there and do the doggone thing yourself along with a business owner. Some people, unfortunately, they're not built to be business owners. They're actually built to be entrepreneurs. In other words, they're built to work a business within a business, which I believe is completely okay, especially if there's systems in place, okay? I'm actually gonna be teaching you guys in a couple of weeks about how to build streams of income, because I don't know if you guys have heard the word affiliate marketing, but I'm gonna talk to you and show you how to make money without having to work for money. Here's another good thing that you have to think about is who told you had to work hard for money? Who said that? Somebody you talk to, right? And before you know it, you find yourself, anytime you get money, you feel like you got to work hard for it. And if you're not working hard, then it's not worth you getting the money. Who said that? You know, some of you are making deals out there and you bring everything together and you're going in 50-50. Why would you go in 50-50 with somebody that you brought the idea to? Okay, unless that person's going the same weight that you're bringing, then you have to look at that from a perspective of, is this really going to work for me? Okay, now you see on my screen, it says perpetrating a fraud. Now, many of you won't admit to this, but how many know people, and it might not, we're not going to say no names out here, but you know people that really are low-key broke, but they look like and act like they got money. Okay, anybody out there, is anybody out there in my TV land? We call it back where I'm from perpetrating a fraud, to where they're looking one way, but really they're struggling in all the other areas. Some of you right now on my Zoom, my question would be is, do you have at least a minimum of 1,000 to 10,000 into your savings account? 1,000 to 10,000. Don't answer. Just, I want you to ask yourself if I do. If you don't, my next question is why? If you go to look through your closet, do you see that you have more money in your closet than you have in your bank account? If you look outside and you see that beautiful car you got, that beautiful car that you love so dearly, was that car literally pimping you and got you out there working like a Hebrew slave just to make the car payments and the insurance? That's what I call perpetrating a fraud. I'd rather you get something and be able to know that you have another vehicle that's paying for it versus you having to pay for it yourself, okay? I told you I was gonna make you uncomfortable tonight. Consumer to investor. How many know that most people are consumers? We're all consumers, right? But how many know it's hard? It's almost like, I say this to my clients, it's hard taking a spender and making them a saver. Because taking someone off of that spending track is like taking somebody off of crack because you're so used to spending. Right now, some of you can't even keep money in your wallet because every time you get money in your wallet, you feel like your job is to spend it. That's a consumer's mindset. Your bank account, when every time you get paid, before you get paid, that next day, is that money gone or does it at least simmer for a little bit? Ask yourself the question. In other words, when did you go to just being a consumer or just working to make money to pay other people your money? At what point when you start making money, that money can just sit until there's an opportunity to make more money? Maybe it's because you have a mindset of a consumer that every time you get money, mindset. My job is to spend it. My job is to put it out there. My job is to do my, I've seen some people with some beautiful hairstyles and all these things, da 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 da, and things happen. They don't even got $100 to go take care of it. I have people call me, not a lot these days, but more frequently this year than ever before. I don't know where that's come from, but it's easy for people to ask you for money. And for me, it's easy for me to tell them no. Because in my mindset is, if you can't take care of your money, what you gonna do with mine? And I don't borrow money. I don't believe in it. I believe that when it comes to people, I don't borrow money. If I have it, I give it. If I don't, I won't. And to me, if you get that mindset, it makes it a little different. Okay. But going from a consumer to investor is a tough transition for some because they're so used to spending money. If you're on this thing tonight, on this Zoom, watch me on YouTube, watch me on these other channels, and you have a spending problem, don't reply tonight because I'm not trying to bust you out, but I want you to ask yourself, where did you get that habit from? Where did you get that habit of spending money? All right, I'm stopping to share. I made you mad enough. Tonight, what you thinking? Where's your head at? When I start saying these terms, where does it put you in the mindset of? All right, I'm gonna start from my left to the right and I'm gonna work my way. All right, I'm gonna hear you on tonight. Angie, what are you thinking tonight? What's that money mindset? Is it making you look at things a little differently?
I mean, in actuality, when I was listening to the conversation and knowing certain things, I can probably say that I've grown. Can I be a lot better? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I know what I can do. So I do have a better mindset. So yeah, it's a work in progress, but I'm doing way better. So, it's good. It's bad and it's good, but as long as I'm still moving forward with it, and I'm not where I used to be, but I'm not where I want to be, but I'm still moving in that right direction. I'm okay.
Beautiful. Now, before this, did you have some of these old money mindsets that really can see that it hindered you from going forward?
Oh man, oh my God, yeah. Even now though, I still do some things, but like I said, I'm a whole lot better than what I used to be, but absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. I don't know if this helps anybody, but for me, I believe I have to. I'm very goal oriented, and so when I get something above and beyond nice, I have to know that I accomplished something to be able to say that I earned that, and then I can walk away from it feeling good about, say, a purchase that might not be. There's stuff that you want, and there's stuff that you need, and there's some want items that I have, but I'm more driven by investing than I am getting the want items. But I still want the want items, so I get them sometime, but I've had to accomplish a goal in order to do so. And so sometimes to me, I always have to have a carrot, even if it's a little small belt that I want. It might be $100, but to me, I got to accomplish things in order to do that, because then I know that, hey, I did what I need to do. So you should reward yourself. And it's not like a reward system. So if you look at some things more of a reward system, then that means that you had to accomplish something to actually be able to say that you can do those things. I don't know if that makes sense. Dominique, what you thinking? I got you on your heels. You're stepping back. You're like, man, I got this.
Well, for me, like since I was a young kid, I've always saved money, and I think it was the way I grew up, thinking I have to hold on to everything I have. I think that was the mindset, but growing up, it actually helped me in the long run because, I was always the person that had it and I didn't have to really worry about it. I think now, thinking about it, it's just like having the money and knowing where to put it now. So.
That's good. That's a good mindset too, because that's something that, and some of these things are really good because now, as you said, I love that. I guess I've gotten a shift in mind because now I save to invest. So I don't do anything without the mindset of how can I take this money to make more money? And so I like it. That's something that that not everyone's grown up with. How many have grown up in a home to where you were taught to spend money but not save money? How many grew up in a home to where you knew your parents had to keep borrowing money and they go back and forth from each other? Let me get you 20, let me get you 30. Then, and before you know it, how many grew up in the old neighborhood to where you borrowed sugar from your neighbor? Okay, maybe I'm dating myself. But there's some things that we have to do back in the day to make it work. Robbie, where's that mindset? Thanks, Dominique. Thanks for sharing. That's good. Some people did grow up that way, which is excellent, and it helps.
So where's my mindset now or when I was younger?
Well, let's go from where you've come from real quick to where you're at now.
Well, I come from scarcity, so living in survival mode, constant survival mode. When I was an adult, when I became into an adult and even late into my 30s, even my early 40s, I didn't realize I was in survival mode, still living in survival mode because that's what I was taught. So now my mindset is being a better steward over money and wanting my money to work for me and me not having to work so hard for it.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's a different mindset. You know, that's something that I know we've been working on and even pointing towards, showing, and some of you have been actually having these conversations with on how do you make money without physically having to go do something, you know. And here's kind of where I guess I've shifted big time, is to where now there's no way in the world that you can make a lot of money and you're the only one doing what you do. Okay, it just won't happen. You got to have other people making money when you're not making money to make the real money you want to make. So that's where you have to build teams. All right, good stuff. I love it. Thanks, Robbie. Thanks for being so transparent. That's amazing. All right, Deshaun, are you on the phone? I know you're in there cranking those calls out, man, making it happen.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just wrapped up. My laptop actually died. I dipped out for a couple seconds, but I'm back.
Good. So money mindset. Well, I know, of course, you're my son, but what are some things that you had to break to help you get to where you're at now?
Oh, there's a lot we could unpack. I mean, it's a combination of thoughts and even habits. You know what I'm saying? So as far as habits, we'll be vague and we'll just say distractions, right? And then as far as thoughts, we'll say the thought of, you know, am I worthy of this? You know what I'm saying? The thought of am I capable of this or of obtaining this? The thoughts of inadequacy, you know, things of that nature. Definitely have to deal with those and reinforce, you know, what God says about me, you know, because his answer is always yes to all those questions, you know, and then some and some more of it. So there was definitely, like I said, you know, thoughts and habits that had to be broken or overcome so that I could continue to move forward.
Wow, that's heavy. Anybody else decided or had those kind of thoughts or issues to where you didn't feel worthy? You didn't think you could do it? It was more mindset than it was about money. It was more so about you limiting your own self and saying that, okay, I see what they're doing, but I'm not them. And then you start making excuses on why you can't do those numbers. You know, getting to the point where now you start focusing so much on what you can't do instead of focusing on what you can do and what you should do. And maybe it's because you haven't been around enough people. You know, maybe you haven't been around people that have made $30,000 in a day. Now you have $40,000 a day. Now you have. It gets to the point where you get around the right people, those numbers start shifting, because then you start chasing a bigger number every day than chasing the 200s, the 100s, the 300s. But you got to start somewhere, but you got to start asking yourself, why am I thinking so low? Why would I increase that volume or amount that I would have or think that I can have? Dr. Tiffany, what are you thinking out there? Thanks, Deshaun. That's good stuff. That's heavy. A lot of people don't really put that out there, but it's a mindset nonetheless. Uh-oh, I see y'all mute Dr. T, but I don't see Dr. Tiffany, but I don't see you talking. Oh.
Make money,
Oh,
but
there
I
you
need to learn how to spend it wisely and not give it away.
That is huge. How many on here are givers, big givers? You're people that give. And how many can say that I've given my last to people? How many do that? Type in my chat. Yeah, I'm a big giver. Yeah, I give my last. Come on, let me see it. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Some of you guys will help people out till it hurts. And I think that's admirable to the aspect of that's what you do. But when it boils down to it, there's an old saying that you have to put the mask on yourself first, then you can help other people. I've always been under persuasion that if I'm good, then I help people from my overflow. That way I can give it to them versus giving them something that I actually need. But once again, I'm a little different. I'm built a little different because I also believe that I can help more people once I get there versus me trying to do it while I'm on my way. Because sometimes on your way, you're giving away stuff that you don't need to be giving away. Me and my wife have a benevolence budget. In other words, we have a way to where we say, okay, if we do want to give something to somebody, then we just give it to them. And it makes a big difference, guys. And it feels much better when you can give somebody something and not expect anything in return, because what you gave them was your overflow and not what you actually needed to live. How many have been in dispute with people over money? Type in my chat, me, to where you got a friend right now you ain't talking to because they owe you $5. Okay, I'm talking petty stuff that happens because you do things that, once again, you ought not do. My guys that are spiritual here, I truly believe, according to Proverbs chapter 6, you don't want to lend money to people because now they become your slave. And so how many of you out there are making people your slave and don't even know it? Because once somebody owes you, then now pretty much they become your slave. Figure that one out for a minute. So maybe, just maybe, you might want to stop making people your slave by giving them money. Okay, because once you give them money and you tell them, oh, I'm gonna pay you back, and then they don't pay you back, then either A, they act like they don't know you. Anybody had somebody that owed you some money and they act like they didn't owe you no money, and you done talk to them, and then they'll come at the nerve to come around you showing you they new stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, don't you still owe me money? Okay, maybe I'm not talking to anybody on this Zoom. But anyway, there's a few folk that I know of that they got people that literally you start getting upset when you start seeing them flossing because they still owe you your money that they said they was gonna pay you, but here they are going to Disneyland, Walt Disney, and they act like they forgot that they owe you money. So to me, once again, I don't loan money. I invest. If something's of interest to me, then I will invest money into something if I know I'm getting a return from it because it's an investment and not me just giving somebody money. Troy, you're a little different though, man. I know you're built different too. How was your money mindset then and how has it changed?
I can relate to Miss Robin or Miss Robbie. I believe Dominique as well. You know, growing up, money was scarce. First generation. So my mother, you know, came here in her, I think, teenage years when they came from England. So, you know, so like learning culture and everything like that, they didn't have everything. We grew up on the food stamps, the welfare. And, you know, I think moms made the best of everything. I didn't understand it until I got older that it was what it was. Everything I earned, I saved. I was never a big spender. I think that helped me, right? Because I own a couple properties. So like when you're talking about the quadrants and everything, being an employee, even like the overflow, you know, I put it away into insurance policies and investments, you know. So now I'm challenging myself, okay, well, that money's already gone towards those products. What can we do now? So I'm just trying to become more efficient, more mindful, more responsible. That's really it. At the end of the day. Especially for these ones, right? So I think it's dope. I mean, and I'm listening. So I'll finish in the past. You guys, I appreciate, you know, your candidness, your transparency, because I'm a person that, well, for sure, I love to listen and observe. I'm not a talker. I'm a doer, and in those aspects of like, you're gonna see me move. Like when I play ball, I'm not the one that's talking rah rah rah, but you're gonna feel me. You know, you're gonna know my presence. So it's pretty cool because I'm still learning some components, right? But thank you, thank you. So, yeah, very mindful of money, and not just out here spending it just to be spending it. Especially right now, because I'm trying to make different moves and, position myself.
Wow, it makes a big difference, man. But it sounds like you've grown, and because of your past, it made you better. Now he is trying to constantly.
Yeah.
I get it, man. Well, good. Thank you so much for sharing. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Marquise, man, what's going on, man? I know you got a whole nother money mindset, man. Your mind is out there making all kind of money. You got your money on your mind, and your mind on your money.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was blessed to come from not with a silver spoon in my mouth, but my dad actually raised me to with a good perspective on money. Always to be an investor, always to be a business owner, to have the business mindset. We don't work for the company, we own them. So I was kind of blessed in that aspect, and as far as with abundance mindset, and at the same time having to balance out, I guess maybe you would call it maybe somewhat not scarcity, but just frugal. At the same time, because I'm one, I had to balance myself out. I'm not a real big. I'm more of an investor than a saver. I won't put away the this. Hey, how could I double it and then put it away? So, but you also have to balance there as well, because it never hurts to have a few stones put away. So definitely got a lot of value out of this call, just with the different perspectives, and just reminded of a lot of things that kind of helps with the balance. So it's really good.
Beautiful, guys. I think once you start, as you're doing that balance, it makes a big difference. But I want to challenge all of you guys to get to a place to where you have your situation taken care of first. I always tell guys there's certain businesses that for me are my mothership, and I don't let nothing attack the mothership. The mothership is always protected and always has funds. Then everything above and beyond that, I can put out there and do different things with. Like I bought some trucks, but I didn't buy trucks with money that I didn't have. I bought trucks from money that was over above what I need to make sure that I was good. And so once you start setting that number, I call it my broke number. So whatever your broke number is, I try to keep that amount to where I know that that's there. And then everything else I build, I'm looking to see what can I do. Like right now, I'm actually just now applying for I think it's a $2 million building. And so with that being said, it's a purpose behind the money that I do save, because in my mind, it's not money being saved, it's money that's getting ready to be invested. But I still have my money that I say, hey, that don't get touched, that stays there. Everything above that goes there. In other words, I don't always cash in all my chips. I believe that you ought to keep some chips to make sure that you're good for the home front. Then the other stuff becomes the overflow that can now become additional seed to bring a greater harvest. Okay, that way you don't get stuck on a little seed you got and think that's the harvest. There's also another flip side of saving too much, which I know some people that do. They save it and they won't take that same money, reinvest it, and put it to where it needs to go. But when I say that, meaning that once again, you still keep your broke number, and then you go above that, and then that goes pushed out the door to see what else it can do as you send it out. Like I just opened another business. Once again, another investment. I own it, but I don't work in it. I want to get you guys to that point to where you start thinking about, how can I make money without having to make money? In other words, what do I need to do to let that money be residual versus it being money that I got to go out there and make? So good stuff, guys. You guys are, I think, man, you guys are ahead of the game. You've come to another notch, which is awesome. Sade, where'd you come from and where you at now with your money mindset?
I would have to say that my dad was really big on saving. So he used to always tell me, like, when I first started like actually working, put back $5. Every single paycheck, he had me to put $5 inside like this big old water cup or whatever it is. So I would even put $5 in there, and then I put the change. And so once it got like halfway full of like the cash, he took it out and he counted it, and it was just like think it was like right at like $2,000 that I had in there. So he was just like, anytime you get your check, he was like, always put your money back. So even now, like I don't, whatever it is, I try to put something back into my savings account. So that way, so I've been always big on like saving. Was in a sense in my 20s, I got to the point where I wasn't saving as much. I was just constantly like spending my money, especially when I moved out and I'm on my own. It's just like I just want to spend, you know. But I went back and started doing like my dad taught me, and that was just to make sure that I'm saving back something regardless of the amount. Just always just put it back and don't even look at it no more. Put it like in a safe or whatever the case may be, wherever you have it, and just don't look at it and just keep putting it in there so that way that you can see later on, like some months down the line, of how much money that you actually save. So I would say like growing up, I was like taught to just save my money.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's good. Like I said, it's good. I'm glad to hear you guys are there. Now, the hard question is, with that mindset that you had, how much do you have in the bank? Don't you answer that question, Sade, but ask yourself.
Oh.
All the years you made money, what really put into your retirement, your savings? And if you really look at that, have you followed the philosophy that was really taught to you? And has that really worked for you to get to where you really want to be? I want you guys to answer it. Just process that for a moment, because that's something that I'm learning, that you want to spend some, save some, give some. I keep it simple. Spend some, save some, give some. And that to me keeps it really simple. Now you got to break it into percentages to make sure those percentages work. So every single check, every single bit of money you get, you percentage it to where now it actually goes in those areas before you even touch it or move with it. Makes a big difference too when you already have purpose for your money, because if you don't have purpose for your money will go everywhere. Okay, so you guys are doing great. I love it. I love what I'm hearing. Now my last thing is, and I'll get you out of here because it's that time, is many of you have said that you broke some mindsets, which is good. But now the question comes in, intentionally getting to the next level. What are you going to be doing? And I want you to write this down, and I want you to work on this later. But how do you intend to break some old money mindsets in the aspect of knowing that some of that hasn't gotten you to where you want to be? In other words, do you have it to where you can just go and do what you need to do? Or is it still something that you're struggling through? All right? Because the savings part is good, guys, but that savings was just saved. Sometimes it wasn't given instructions on where do I put my money? What areas do I put my money into that now can benefit me in the future as well as now? So those are things that I want you to consider, put up in your mindset to where now, what do I do with this money that I'm planning on saving, and how am I gonna make it work? All right? Biggest key, guys, is don't go alone. Get help. We're here to help you. All right? You know, I do everything. I'm intentionally at a position to where I thank God that I'm not just a coach that can tell you this sounds good. I can say, no, let me help you. Let's get this stuff done. Let's get it going. Let's get you in a position to where now you have an IUL. How many have heard of IUL? This is the most well-kept secret in the world that the millionaires and people talk about all the time, but we don't talk about this stuff. How many know about Roths, traditional IRAs, things that you need to put money into, non-qualified accounts? I have a client I just moved about a little over $500,000 into, and he got 14% immediately on his money. 14%. So if you do the math, that's a little over $70,000 for one deposit that he made in one investment. Ain't that something to think about? So now the key is, it's good to have that little change somewhere, but where do you put those lump sums at? Where do you make them work for you? All right, we're here to help. All right, you guys are in my wonderful performance coaching, so you know what it is in here. I know that you value me, I value you. Make it all make sense. One-on-one business coaching, guys. If you have not done this, I'm going to challenge you this year. Some of you have already set a date, but you need to lock in one-on-one. You need to get me week to week, finding out individually what you actually want and helping to push you in that direction. All right. The key being is, I only want what you want for you. And my job is to help you get there faster. All right. Gonna have some great testimonies to show you guys the people that have helped to do that. 0 to new business in 30 days. Those of you that are just getting started, great program, knocks out all the guesswork and allows you now to get right to work to get you going in the right direction, okay? Got some testimonials already on people that have actually set up, already got credit, business credit, buying stuff, taking care of their business, making more income they've ever made before in a short period of time, okay? Other than that, guys, real quick, last thought is ask RW. Any questions out there that you have that I can ask real quickly? I'll give 5 minutes to this. So if you guys do have a question for me in reference to your business, personal, or something that you need just help on, I'm here to hear from you right now. What do you got?
I got a question. What was the last investment vehicle you referenced? You said Roth, and then you said something about a fund or an account.
Non-qualified account.
Okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah, non-qualified account. With a non-qualified account, you can put up to $1 million in those accounts without any questions, and those accounts are earning between 5 to 8%.
And the IUL account, that was new by me as well.
IUL, the Index Universal Life. Yeah, it's actually one of those accounts that I personally love because it's a tax-free account. I just set somebody up 2 days ago, and we set them up for 20 years, putting $550 in, and they actually end up getting $27,000 a month in tax-free income for the rest of their life. It's just a numbers game.
Nice.
You know, what about having an account that you put money into and immediately you have 50% accessible and you can borrow that money back out tax-free, pay yourself back, and use that as leverage for different events and things and that you're trying to accomplish and do. Just a couple accounts, guys, just real quick synopsis on those. But there's so much out there that most people don't know about. Roth IRA. To me, if you are under a certain income level, you should have a Roth. It's a great tax-free vehicle that you can use to get you to where you're going. And when you pull the money out, it's tax-free. After 5 years, it's tax-free. And the tax-freeness is the money you invest that you make from that money. The money you put in has already been taxed. Because right now, the hardest question that you have to ask yourself, especially for those of you that are blowing up, is not the money you're making, but what happens after you get to a point to where you got to pay taxes on that money? You know, do you have some vehicles that will help you shield some of that money? You can't get away from the IRS, but you sure enough can shield you a little bit. But many accounts out there, definitely something that we'll get into individually as you guys are ready to do those steps. Any other questions? Any business questions?
I know y'all got your Saturday meeting. We get a Zoom and that. I'm always working, so it's hard for me to tap in like I really want to. But if I can tap into some type of video, and it helps too, you know, we're like taking notes. There's a part where, you know, things are a drag. That's just the reality of the situation. But how bad do you want it, right? So when you're listening, you're tapping in, taking the notes, it's like a rejuvenation of sorts that takes place, you know? Keep you focused on the goal objectives.
Okay. Absolutely. You know, we'll take a look into that for sure. This is really weird because my ringer is never on, and I don't know why my phone is ringing. Hold on 1 second, guys. I just got a dilemma. This is not good. Okay. Anyway, I got to figure out my ringer is never on. Anyway, so with that being said, I will endeavor to see what we can do to make that work. I will try and at least get bits and parts of it because I know that some of that stuff is going to be hot. I got some fresh material that I want to share with you guys to really make you think about this whole real estate economy and where we're going. I'm in a process of actually acquiring some more property, and you know, people are looking at me like, well, how are you acquiring property? Because I'm not looking at the interest rates, I'm looking at the numbers. Do the numbers make sense? I'm about the numbers. I'm not about, I don't care what the interest rate is, because this isn't the first time the interest rates have been high. So anyway, so there's some mindset stuff once again. And sometimes people will say, oh, it ain't the time. Well, who said? How many believe that people are making money when other people are losing money? Do you believe that? And I think Bill Gates said it best, not Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. When people are running away from the market, you run towards the market. Get to the point to where you stop being swayed. You know, I have this saying, and I'll leave this with you, is I'm recession proof. I am recession proof. I believe that no matter what the market and economy does, I am developing my own economy to where that way it doesn't matter who's in the president's seat, who's making these laws. Well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? As long as I am in the zone and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then the rest of that stuff is going to play itself out no matter what you do. Gas prices, milk prices, egg prices, it ain't, to me, it ain't worth the conversation. I look at people that talk about the egg situation and I think it's exactly ridiculous, but that's just my personal opinion. But I thought the same thing about the gas stuff. Because like I told you guys, I wasn't catching no scooter and I wasn't catching the cat bus. So it didn't matter what gas prices go up to. I just know I'm always going to have what I need to keep going. That's that abundance to me. All right, guys, you guys are amazing. You're fabulous. Let me know anything I can do to help. I'm here for you. I hope this helped you a little bit. Elevate your mind this year. Start getting back to that number that you started with. Stop running away from the big numbers. I'm here to tell you, and I shared this with somebody this week, it's so much easier dealing with the big numbers than it is dealing with the small numbers. It's so much easier. So it's better for you to go big than it is to stay small. If you go big, it's better and easier to deal with big stuff than it is to deal with the little stuff. And here's another question for you. Is it any more difficult to deal with the big stuff than it is the small stuff? Is it any more harder to pray for the big stuff than it is for the small stuff? Same. All right, you guys be good. Enjoy your evening. Next week, if you're looking to buy or Saturday, be there, 9:30 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Great information. We'll see about the Zoom. I can't promise it, but we're definitely gonna do the best we can, okay? God bless you guys. Have a great night. Be great. Nothing but love for you guys. You guys enjoy.